Thank you, Mr. Jawahar Sircar. Friends, uh, Professor Jawahar sir is a
Thanks to Professor Shah, Professor Thorat, Professor Tarun Kanti Naskar, Professor Murgiappa, Professor Ram Puriani, and many other very, very respected academics whom I hold in high esteem. Now, um, I have had the privilege of being Secretary Higher Education for a long time, Secretary Science and Technology, Secretary Culture, etc. And I have, in a way, never left academics. But today I can tell you with pride that I never expected such a gathering. You will remember this day, this huge gathering. This huge gathering is a fitting reply with more scholarship, with more scholarship and intellect per square feet than anywhere else in India. It's a fitting reply. It's a fitting reply to somebody. High school degree also we have not seen. Uh, I will not speak on academics at all. I have been part of the exercise. I have been part of the uh, PEP. Thanks to Professor Naskar. I don't know. He has this habit of grabbing me. Uh, with this show of strength that you have displayed today, I'll come straight to the point. I have told you I have my disadvantage of not being an academics, but I'll also tell you some of the advantages. One is these years that I have worked with different governments, including Mr. Narendra Damodar Das Modi. I had to report to him directly as the national head of the broadcaster, Prasar Bharati Akashvani and Doordarshan, on practically a fortnightly basis for 2.5 years. We knew each other's stand. He could do nothing to me because my post was constitutionally protected. I could do nothing to him. I wish I could. But then, from this interaction and from the other experiences, I will come straight to the point. We can go on discussing. Professor Thorat gave a very brilliant exposition of the current position. Professor Naskar told you about the PEP. I'm sure you'll adopt the PEP with some variation. I'm sure it will be a historic document like the 5-7 that we read forever. But what we need today is to understand that these petitions will not work on the back of a rhinoceros. They don't work. We are up against the most evil force that India has seen. Never before have we come across such a coordinated force of whatever negative we can bring forward. So we cannot be in the petition phase of the Congress, early Congress of Firoz Shah Mehta and W.C. Banerjee. The petition phase, hoping that petitions work. I will not preach to the converted. I will not go on raising the issue of 4.3% of GDP to 4.7% of the GDP for education that we are talking for the last 20 years. In Parliament, we have raised hundreds of questions, and until Mr. Pradhan had to take me to his room and say, boss, thoda chhod do. You see, these are only instruments. The NEP has been a bureaucratic document, but I was also invited for the meetings because I don't know how much consultation, and I know the evil brain by name who framed the whole thing. It's an instrument of hegemony. It's an instrument that reflects the four principles of this government: centralization, communalization, corruption, and corporatization. It's just three, four principles. It reflects. So whatever you see is just the reflection, just the, what shall I say, just the phenomenon that is reflected. The education budget, there's no point in talking about it. From 96,000 crore, they raised it in 7 years to 1.2, 1.3. Let's see, their budget is coming in the next few days. They'll not be able to spend it all. So we'll not quibble on that. What we require is to understand what we are up against. And as I said, we are up against a force and we need to give gathering a debate in Calcutta Club on communal issues. She and I were surprised. More than half the audience was clapping in favor of the Hindu right. And when I looked back and I found that these were all youngsters. And can't you see the answer written on the wall? That these youngsters were 11 years old, 12 years old before these evil forces came to power. And in the last 10 years of education, whatever their education and indoctrination and the media and the WhatsApp university, they have converted the entire generation to the Hindu right. We have to stop it. And we can do it. I'll put it down. We have created this thing. Amongst your students also, if you pump them a little harder, you'll find what replies you get. It's not their fault. We have failed. So now, tactical struggle that I suggest is like this. First of all, I mean, I'm not raising the issue of PEP and NEP route right now. You have to understand that these forces are working at different places in different methods. We have to unite and say that one for all for one. I'll give you one example. The IIM bill has autocratized the autonomy, has worked against the autonomy of the IIMs without protest. There were bills when we were in parliament that opposed tooth and nail, if you can brief me. If you can convince MPs, they're not such a bad god. Politically, not the rogues, but not all of them are that bad. After all, government had to go and expel 141 of us. So if we can raise a cause, a national cause, so IIM bill passed like that. Now, I don't know how many of you are aware of this Viksit Bharat, no, sorry, Viksit Bharat Shiksha Adhisthana. I think I have to go into Sanskrit once again. Now, Viksit Bharat Shikshit Shiksha Adhisthana is a simple one-liner. 12 Sanghis, I'm repeating the word, 12 Sanghis will take over the education of India by merging UGC, we don't need Professor Thorat, by merging AICT, by merging NCT, and deciding on funding, deciding on courses, deciding on syllabus, deciding on what research you will do, and what PhDs will emerge. This is the hard. We have to stop the bill. The bill will come up on 1st of February after the budget is laid. I have also spoken to academics who are, there are many academics in who are MPs, and we can convince them. The point I'm making, friends, is that there is a loose contact between your anger, your knowledge, and the ammunition required by the members of parliament. So first of all, Professor Naskar, I plead with you to form a cell to inform the MPs. I can tell you 2010, 15, I resigned. I did not complete my tenure because I could not get along with them. But that's beside the point. I still have friends. We need a complete channel of information through 20 dedicated MPs who will make life hell. That's strategy one. Number two, rip apart this bill with people, professors of law, legal jurisprudence, rip apart and challenge them with absolute fine legal points. And that is what we have to do for all bills. They are attacking ISI, and we have protested in very general terms on the ISI bill. General terms don't work. They are like, firing pea shots. They don't work. We need terms that you have to force them to go to the standing committee. In the standing committee, we will lose. We don't have the numbers. You don't know the frustration of working with a sinking opposition. We will lose. But they remain on record. And for the next challenge in court, they come in of use, just like this stupid SIR. You understand? So we have to get tactical. You are knowledge, you are dedicated. We need a tunnel, we need a pipeline to connect you to the reality of India. That's my only submission. We cannot, we have to adopt an attitude of being a porcupine. You can stroke a cat, but you don't stroke porcupines. For any incident that happens in any university, we must have an immediate reaction in all other universities, at least on a token basis. Let there be joint consciousness. The freedom struggle was led by lawyers. Now, for the last 11 years, we are seeing the struggle losing inch by inch. We are going up by an inch and losing, coming down by an inch. This freedom struggle has to be led by academia. Please, for God's sake, you and the students have to beat it. At 74, I have no hope in what I see all around. Your coordinated force, your determination, and your knowledge, because remember, this one between knowledge and truth versus darkness and communal toxicity. It's a battle against toxicity, and we owe it to the nation. We got, I don't know how many of you are older than me, some are. We got our freedom on a free lunch coupon. Now we have to earn that freedom. Do you understand? It's time for us to earn that freedom. And that fight should begin from one sector. I remember in the emergency, George Fernandez leading it from the railway sector. Affecting which autonomy, not in terms of which selection process is hurting us. Because these are all expressions of a sick hegemonic mind. So with these words, I would ask you, I plead with you to please join the mainstream and to be in constant through social media, WhatsApp and others. Let us use the same instrument that they have used against us to be in such a touch that we are able to react at an instant basis so that this government realizes that we don't meet for plenums and plenary sessions. We react on a daily basis. Namaskar and thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jawahar Sircar. Friends, Professor Jawahar Sircar is a